Hello Legionaries! In this tutorial, I'll be explaining all the information needed to understand the mechanics and terminology for KurtzPel Part 2. So, let's get straight into the tutorial. From the previous part of this tutorial, which I recommend watching if you haven't, I made a mistake when covering the mana evade. The time you are allowed to use mana evade is not 8 seconds, but 6.5 seconds or more. Holding a movement key during most of your attacks causes your character to reset animation, which means you can do other moves, attacks, or skills faster. This also applies to iframe's length during breakfall, but not the dodge, getting up from knockdown state, or the mana evade. If a character is in the knockdown state, you cannot attack them to force them to leave the knockdown state. Once they are in the knockdown state, it is best to keep a bit of distance from them to not get broken by the get up attack. Jumping while sliding down a wall allows you to perform a wall jump. You can perform a wall jump only once until you touch the ground. Here are a few more common status effects explained. Some movement slow status effects can also affect your action speed, like slowdowns from the giant hammer karma. The defense debuff effect, which is applied by the lance karma with certain attacks, increases the damage you take from attacks. After a certain period of time during a PvP match, a zone will appear that makes the area to fight in smaller to force more engagement between opponents. If you are outside of this zone, you will take damage except when you have iframes. Players usually use the zone while comboing opponents to deal more damage to them faster. The stats in the game determine a lot of gameplay factors. Survivability, damage dealt, movement speed, speed of attacks, and so on. You can see your stats when you view a character and go to the equipment or costume tab and look at the main karma info, dungeon and battle. The dungeon stats show the stats used in PvE styled matches like dungeons. They are affected by the equipment you have on the equipment tab. The stats of the equipment pieces are static, which means that you can't change them. If you want to get other stats, you have to grind to get a piece with your desired stats. The battle stats show the stats used in PvP styled matches. They're affected by the costume pieces you have equipped on the costume tab. You can change the costume piece stats at the Tome of Knowledge. There, you can choose what stat it should have at the cost of 500 GP and 3 Radiant Magic Stones per piece. So, those are all of the mechanics and terms you will need to know to understand the game and not get run over and completely railed in PvP Part 2. Keep in mind, in the future, some of the mechanics could have changed or have been removed from the game. If this tutorial was helpful, leave a like, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below or join my Discord server. If you want to support me in my work even more, feel free to tip me or become a member on Ko-fi or Boosty at the links down in the description. I really appreciate all the help and thank you so much in advance. Hope you enjoyed the game and the inevitable suffering that comes with it even more. And until next time, salutes!